Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This week we're finally tackling the back garden. It's been needing a bit of love. We've got weeds, patchy grass and a surprise visitor, meadowgrass. If you don't know, meadowgrass might look innocent, but it's a bit of a pest. Grows fast, spreads even faster and doesn't play nice with a tidy lawn. So we're rolling up our sleeves and pulling it out by hand, one patch at a time, before we fill the gaps, scarify, overseed, fertilise and give it a good soak. Let's get into it. So the thing with meadowgrass is it grows in really patchy clumps and it just takes over if you let it. Unfortunately, there's no shortcut here. The only real way to deal with it is to get stuck in and pull it out by hand, one patch at a time. And what you're seeing here is actually progress. James spent a good few hours on Saturday pulling out lots of patches. So we're just picking up where we left off yesterday, basically. Say hello, babe.
Hello, babe.
So guys, we're just going along the grass and we're trying to take out the meadow grass, which seems to be a big issue this year, more than it was, well, than it seemed to be last year. It's kind of spread everywhere by the looks of it. I'll show you here. This is the meadow grass. It's kind of distinct because it's lighter green, isn't it?
Wider blade, and it's very light green, and it self-seeds, so you can see here there's already little seeds on it, and it spreads like wildfire. And then obviously it just changes the whole look of your garden. You have loads of light green and dark green areas, and it's just not what we want. So the only way to get rid of it is to dig it out, or else burn the whole lawn off again, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to dig it out and hope for the best.
Yeah, so we've dug out almost everywhere around the garden. We've got little holes basically where we're just trying to get rid of it, and then you're going to reseed, right?
Yep, overseed.
Overseed. Full brown bin from the garden. Once we've pulled out the meadow grass and weeds, we're left with loads of little holes and bare patches all over the lawn. So we're going around and filling them in with sterilised topsoil. We went for sterilised soil because it's greened and free from weed seeds. The last thing we want is to reintroduce more problems after all the work. Looking back, we probably should have waited to do this step after scarifying, but hey, we're learning as we go. Breaking into our second bag of sterilised soil. We haven't even done much. James will have to go to... Are you going to go to the garden centre tomorrow? To get more? Part of the reason we've been struggling to get a healthy lawn going is actually down to the soil we've been working with. It's mostly clay. If you're in a new build like us, this might sound familiar. It's really common for new built gardens to be left with pretty poor soil once construction's done. And clay is one of the trickiest types to deal with. Clay holds on to water and compacts really easily, which means poor drainage and not much air getting down to the roots. Grass doesn't love that. It needs loose, well-drained soil to thrive. So before we can even think about a lush lawn, we've got to work with what we've got. Each year, we've been adding more topsoil bit by bit, just to try and improve the overall soil content. It's a slow process, but the hope is that over time, we'll build up a better base for the grass to actually grow properly, not just survive. After a bit of digging and patching, we decided to take a wee break. And lately, I've been loving a fresh juice. Just one orange, half a lemon and a handful of strawberries blended together with a bit of water as well. Super simple, super refreshing. James, on the other hand, goes straight for the good stuff. His go-to is a smoothie with raspberry, ice cream, fresh strawberries and a splash of milk. Can't argue with that.
Hi guys, so it's the next day and we went to the garden centre and got some more topsoil. It's a Monday and I've taken the day off. Ramona unfortunately has to work, so you won't see much of her in this video probably, unless she gets a wee break. But anyway, yes, I'm just going to get the topsoil out of the car, lay it out and have it ready to go. But I'm going to do the scarifying first, so that I don't rip up all the new soil that I've just laid. So scarify the lawn first. You have to do 2 passes to try and get as much thatch and weeds and whatever out of the soil on the top of the lawn, and then we can prepare it for laying down our new seed. So put some fertilizer down as well and just get everything going. So nothing else to do now apart from get started. So guys, here's the grass seed that I'm going to be using. It's just left over from last year, so we're going to make use of that. And then this is our fertilizer. So it's a pre-seed fertilizer. You put that down to get the grass started off and to give it a good foundation to grow in. And then these are just the tools that I'm going to be using. I've got my little sewing machine here, and then I just bought this scarifier. Here I'm using my new scarifier to dethatch the lawn. I decided to do 2 passes rather than just 1. Right, so I just need to rake up all this dead grass. For anybody wondering why the grass isn't shorter, that's as short as my lawnmower can cut. Unfortunately, I would have liked it a lot shorter when I was doing my overseeding, but my lawnmower won't cut any lower and I'm not going to buy another one for that job. So yeah, I just have to make do with what I've got. But get this all raked up and then we can get on with fertilising and overseeding. You can see the difference in the bit that I've raked, how much has come out, and then the bit still has to be raked, you know. A lot of that, it looks bad because it looks like we've killed all of our grass. In actual fact we haven't. It was just that the majority of our grass was meadow grass, and because those blades cut vertically, not horizontally like a lawnmower, they're cutting up all the meadow grass, which is good because it creeps along the bottom and spreads out sideways rather than growing upways like what the grass we want does. So it's going to look bare for a while, but when we overseed it and give it the right nutrients and some compost on top, hopefully in maybe 2 to 3 weeks we should have a nice green lawn again, but time will tell. So guys, as you can see, I've got all the weed grass and thatch gathered up from the lawn, so I'm just going to start fertilising now. So fill the fertilizer spreader up with this stuff I got. It's actually another YouTuber that makes this, so I used this last time and it seemed to be good, so I'm going to use it again. So yeah, just get on with fertilising now. Now guys, that's the fertilising done, and you can see here, hopefully, the little white granules on the soil. That's all the fertiliser that we've got down. So I actually forgot to do one thing. I need to fill in some of the holes now, the potholes that we made from digging out the weed grass. I need to fill those in with some of the soil that I got today, so I'll do that now, then I'll get the grass seed down, then I will put the top dressing on it, and that's technically it. So guys, here I'm just using my fertilizer slash seed spreader to put down the grass seed. So just going back and forward over the bits that I've scarified and just giving it a really good coating of seed. So guys, next step is covering the newly laid seed with top dressing. In this case I'm using compost, because we had better results with compost last year. So just bought this at my birthday as well with some money that I got. It's a compost spreader. So you basically just fill the roller up with compost, then it puts a nice even coating out across the garden. Saves a lot of sort of going around and spreading it by hand. So we'll crack on with that. It's nearly the final step. So guys, as you can see, that's the compost all spread out over the lawn. Pretty good coverage, happy enough with that. There's still some grass seed visible, but you're always going to get a bit of that. But overall it's pretty good, as long as the cat doesn't keep ripping it up. I had to scare him off. That's going to be a bit of a nightmare over the next while. He likes playing and tearing up that stuff. But yeah, one of the reasons why we use the compost spreader as well is because there's a lot of this kind of stuff in your compost, bits and grit and stones and pebbles, so it keeps all that from going onto your lawn after you've just reseeded it. So yeah, that's that done. All we need to do now is let it dry out a little bit, and then I might apply some seaweed, some organic seaweed fertilizer, just to help bring it on another little bit. But yeah, pretty long process, but thankfully near the end, and looking forward to showing you the results in a couple of weeks time. Hopefully it turns out as nice as what I'm expecting. So guys, the final step I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually give it some seaweed. So this is the seaweed here. It's basically just like food, plant food, and it's organic, so I'm going to give the lawn a little coating of that. I know there's not much grass to actually absorb it at the moment, but hopefully it might go down to the roots and help in some way. So give it a little dosage of that, and that'll be it for today. So guys, that's the lawn all covered with seaweed, liquid seaweed, and all our grass seed down, and all of our fertilizer down. So only thing to do now is give it a quick water in so that the fertilizer gets a chance to break down into the soil. I think we're going to get rain by the looks of it. There's probably going to be rain, so I won't give it too much of a water because I don't want to move the seed around in the seed bed too much. So yeah, give it a water in, and that'll be us for today. We've still got the front lawn to do as well, so you'll probably see that in an up and coming video too. Shortly after I'd finished watering, the rain came, and unfortunately the rains lasted for the next 3 days straight, and this didn't really help the grass get off to a great start because I think it moved the seed around in the seed bed. But anyway, we got through it.
For our front lawn, guys, we didn't want to bore you. It's basically the same process as the back, more scarifying, overseeding, and so on.
This is how the back lawn looks around 10 days after we reseeded. As you can see, the garden still looks pretty bare and we haven't had a lot of germination, but this will soon thicken up given time. The front garden's a little further behind because we did it 1 week later than the back lawn, but it's still coming on pretty well. After 4 weeks, it's finally time to show you how it all turned out. So guys, what do you think? How do you think it turned out? We think it turned out really well. There's still obviously some bare patches that need to thicken out a little bit, but that just takes time. For a first attempt at overseeding, I think it turned out pretty good, as you can see. So pretty happy with that.
And also, I think when you're working with clay, we've done pretty well because I think over the last 2 years we've tried to put better soil on, and we did put a bit of topsoil this time, so I think over the years it'll probably improve, but still a huge kind of portion, a percentage of the soil is still clay, so I think considering that, it's turned out really, really well. And we've got rid of, I would say, like 90% of the problems, which were the meadow grass and the weeds, so it's looking much better, but they'll come back, I'm sure.
Well, all we can do is keep on top of it, but hope you've enjoyed watching the whole process, and stay tuned next week for another video.
Yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.